I am Blank, joined here by Cool Ranch 101. And what a match we just had, hey Cool Ranch.
Yeah, that was definitely a spectacle to see with both teams having some amazing plays. The Predators coming out on top with a 3-0 victory on Blizzard World, which was
2-0, but
definitely.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
no, they kept. They kept
Oh,
all
I
three
see what you
points. So
mean
yeah,
on Blizzard World.
on
Ah,
Blizzard World, yes.
I'm a
Yeah,
doofus.
but
My
yeah,
apologies.
overall 2-0, yes. I
Yes,
should have
yes.
worded that better. That is my bad. That is my bad.
That's all good. But of course, we've got another excellent match in the tank right here with the Big Gay Agenda taking on Fabulous Pew Pew. The Big Gay Agenda, of course, representing / playing for the 519, who are an excellent organization in Toronto that do great work raising awareness, providing support to the LGBTQ community here in surrounding areas. Of course, Fabulous Pew Pew playing for the Canadian Cancer Society, who do fantastic work as well, supporting cancer patients, cancer survivors, and their families. So two great teams, two great causes. We got in for some great Overwatch here on Ilios to kick things off.
I think things off. Both teams have already made their way to the point while we were blabbing about, but both teams running very different comps, just like we saw last time. The Fabulous Pew Pew running a double bubble, while the Big Gay Agenda are running the standard Deathball comp with the Mei.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
as
the
the fight,
Deathballs, yeah, it's working out quite well for them, where despite the purple on Kubrick, who actually goes down, unfortunately, they're still able to take the point. With Cupotanis equalizing, I think the Big Gay Agenda might be in good shape here. Faye does get the res on General Moby, and Dyad re-engages. He is purple for his troubles, but just like that, though, the Fabulous Puke are actually able to turn this.
just like the last match, all the fights where they seem like they're going in one direction always end up getting flipped over right at the end. Just as I say that, Cupotanis just gained the last second stall for a few extra percent. 21-4 right now, and they.
Oh, it's taken out on the exit.
That was a nice shot from Moby. Getting right as soon as he gets out of that translocator.
Indeed.
But yeah, the Fabulous Pew Pew having the ult advantage in this fight here. But honestly, both teams looking pretty even here. Minus
Right,
that slight ult advantage.
for sure. And I think it's going to come down to, Kubrick gets taken out before I can say it. If they were able, or if Kubrick and the front line here are able to single out Dyad. But as I'm saying all this, there is a backcap happening through, I assume, Cupotanis, but Fabulous Pew do catch it in time. Unfortunately, they actually lose AP Flower Child in the midst of it. Dyad with the Primal takes out Slay Electric, and I believe someone else. I may have missed that. No, I think it was just Slay Electric, but either way, the Fabulous Pew is looking quite good so far.
Yep, definitely they're playing the double bubble really well. Like having that target focus like no other. They're definitely diving up just to catch the Kubrick off guard every single time, especially with that echo damage. You just can't. The damage to the echo
You have to take
taking
it
out most
seriously
of their
for
health.
sure.
Yeah, you cannot be slacking with that. But
sure,
the
but-
anti, the damage boosted echo, and the Winston being able to pick him every fight. But this time they're taking the fight down main as ults are coming out from both sides.
Right, and the purple is out here as well, so Kubrick has to back off. AP Flower Child unfortunately loses their mech. Kubrick does take out the Bob here, and here, Kubrick is down, and the Echo ult will be the end of that fight. I was about to say, I really like the change from Slay Electric onto the Soldier here to deal with the Echo, but that last fight, it seems like the Fabulous PP just had significant ult advantage.
Yeah, they were able to burn a bunch of ults early fight, like the dupe. They used dupe, Velk, and Bob almost immediately. And with that fight, when the Big Gay Agenda are gonna have to do something to touch, and as I say that, Cupotanis trying their best touch point, but unable to, and having to translocate out, getting chased by Dyad. But the rest of the members of the team are able to funnel in while the rest of the Fabulous Pew Pew are distracted. A full-on brawl coming out onto point. It looks like the Fabulous Pew Pew are in the advantage here, being up 4 kills. And as I say that,
That's it.
the
I think that's
last
gonna
member
take the map here.
of the
Yeah,
Big Gay
or
Agenda
the round,
falls.
I should say.
The round, yeah.
Indeed.
Almost a touch. So close.
For sure. And I think, so, really unfortunate for the Big Gay Agenda at the end there. I think their game plan was to get Cupotanis to use the EMP on point, where it seemed that the Fabulous people were trying to play out of. Because instead of having, excuse me, Dyad and Cool Hand Luke kind of playing the high ground, they really just had Dyad there, and the rest of the team was mostly playing low ground. So I think they were looking for that EMP, but not able to get it, and Cupotanis actually, unfortunately, is taken out because the Sombra has to go for the touch. So now, 1-0 in the favor of the Fabulous Pew Pew here. The Big Gay Agenda are going to hope to equalize on Ruins.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but Cupotanis actually got scouted out before they could touch point. But they still had a few percentage left. And that scout ended up getting them killed before they could even touch, which was so unfortunate. I think that could have ended up winning them at least that fight, if not that round.
For sure, but lots of series to go here still. Lots of this map still left as Kubrick and AP Flowerchild already on point with that strong Rhine Diva front line. Looks like the Fabulous Pupio wrapping around the diet on the Winston, accompanied by Cable. The bubble goes out. That Monkey getting a lot of cleave in. Jumps aggressively here. And there's a purple in the back as well on Kupatanis on the Junkrat. Junkrat able to stay healthy as both these teams jockeying for position. Sticky's out on Kubrick's shield, putting that Rhine under a lot of pressure here. They're trying to get a pick, but AP Flowerchild is unfortunately demacked.
That was a huge nade out from General Moby there, catching 4 of the members of the Big Gauge Enda off guard right in the back. Normally the nade comes in for the tanks, but right here it got the entirety of their backline, and they just could not defend against it.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive, as now 10% and taking here for the Fabulous Pew Pew. They've also got Diet's Primal here, so much cleave from that Winston that last fight. Already got his health. And on the other side, Slay Electric will be coming up to that Visor.
I mean, Cat Armpit almost has their Cole as well, but both support roles coming out here from Fabulous Pew Pew. One of them already popped Faye, already popping the Valkyrie, and as I said earlier, Cat Armpit popping the Coalescence just to equalize with them. But both teams having really stabilized here in kind of a neutral fight, as Cool Hand Luke does pop the duplicate onto the Diva.
Right, and with that, especially with that Primal as well, there is a Nano out on Diet's Primal 2. That will wrap up that fight in a nice little bow, as it looks like Premium taking out Kupatanis. The Big Gauge Enda is back to the drawing board for them, unfortunately, here, as the percent now at 50% for Fabulous Pew.
Yeah, I mean, the Fabulous Pew Pew not hesitating to use any ults or abilities or having any sort of aggression in this defense, they just go for it. It feels like I'm watching a Vancouver Titans game at this point.
Well, OG Vancouver Titans.
Yeah, OG Vancouver Titans. I wouldn't say anything about the newer version.
For sure, but here it looks like the Big Gauge Enda solid ult advantage here. They've got the tire as well, but Preem's already taken out Slay Electric, so with Moby taking out Kupatanis as well, the Big Gauge Enda gonna have to play this slow. They've got a ton of ults to work with, but with those early picks, they're not able to get much done here. Kubrick is purpled as well, has the pin back out to safety. The Shatter goes out, actually catches Faye. But that bubble will keep Faye alive just for the time being, not for long though. Storm, Chaos, AP Flowerchild all join in on the fun, getting the picks here. Big Gauge Enda finally broken through, now pushing to point. There's just Moby and Cable and a retreating Cool Hand Luke. This is their shot though. The Big Gauge Enda just have a duplicated Diva in front of them, holding the door.
And don't count the duplicated Diva out just yet. Even though the tire takes out their Cool Hand Luke's neck, they still have the Diva Bomb and get back in the neck just to be taken out very, very hastily.
What a grab!
What a grab into that huge anti. The Fabulous Pew Pew just once again having that ult advantage. Yeah, they have that ultimate and they're not afraid to hit that Q. And that's one of the fastest Ilios matches I've ever seen. Oh my.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it felt like every time the Big Gauge Enda, like they had an opening, but the Fabulous Pew Pew, I mean, you kind of called it with the Vancouver Titans comparison, right? They were just like playing proactively and kind of hoping it wouldn't backfire. And in this case, they were all just following up really well on that aggression.
The small fact that they were just using their ults first made such a huge difference there. It's absurd to see that just using ults like a few seconds earlier makes such a big difference in this in the game like Overwatch, where it's so fast paced.
Absolutely, and if you're able to kind of catch that aggression and disengage, then it is something that can be taken advantage of. But it's really difficult to do that, especially when well, what's it called? You're kind of running a slower comp, right? You're running the sort of like Rhine style. Versus if you're running really hypermobile characters that can very quickly disengage. So,
great stuff. Even with the Lucio speed boost, they just could not keep up with the sheer amount of ults coming at them.
Right. So we'll see if the Big Gauge Enda can turn it around on Blizzard World. I think I still really liked a couple of things I saw from them, and that Sombra strat. I feel like if Kupatanis was able to get that touch, we might be looking at a very different Ilios right now. But we'll see if they could turn it right back around on Blizzard World. In the meantime, though, we're gonna head to a quick break. So. Don't go anywhere. Grab yourself a fresh beverage if you need to top up or something along those lines. We'll be back with Blizzard World in a few. Welcome back, everybody, from the break, as we're getting right into map 2 of the Big Gay Agenda, taking on the Fabulous Pew Pew. And our last map, the Fabulous Pew Pew, were able to edge out the Big Gay Agenda, going up 1-0 in the series. But of course, the Agenda still have the opportunity here to equalize, try to make it 1-1 here.
I mean, despite the percentages looking like very highly in the favor of the Fabulous Pew Pew, but all fights were really close. And honestly, it just came down to the fact that the Fabulous Pew Pew were not scared to use any ults there, and I feel like the Big Agenda can easily turn this next fight around, or this next match around.
For sure, and I think another thing to be mindful of is the purples from General Moby, right? When you got that kind of unfettered aggression coupled with those anti-nades, that can be a pretty devastating combo. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So there's a Zarya out on the side of the Big Gay Agenda, who of course can cleanse purples as well, build up a ton of charge, do a ton of damage. So between that, the Ana, the Bap, and the Mei, a very sturdy comp of the defense here for the Big Gay Agenda.
Yep, most definitely. This brawl might end up getting them some early picks, just as we saw in the last match with the Redders. Was trying to go for, I guess, those pickoffs or splits with where the Fabulous Pew Pew just won't have a chance to fight back. But the Fabulous Pew Pew do have a very mobile comp here, which may end up, costing them here, especially if they get a nice wall onto someone after they've already burnt their jump or any other movement cooldown.
They also do have premium on the Junkrat, so keep your bingo cards close, because that is one fearsome Junkrat player right there in the server. So but you called it a very kind of mobile split comp here, and the Big Gay Agenda opting to play pretty close here. Slay Electric's gonna be looking for a big wall or freeze here, and we'll see if they're able to get it. As Dyad pushing forward, zapping the Kubrick. Both mini tanks exchanging blows. The wall is out though, Pitzrig off 2, but they're not able to capitalize on that. Because now it's just jockeying on point. Slay Electric does go down, having used the ice block already, and there goes the land of Cat Armpit as well. Kupatanis though able to equalize with a massive pick on premium. But as it stands, it looks like point presence definitively in the hands of the Fabulous Pew Pew here, with Dyad jumping forward, taking out the last few stragglers, and that will be point A of Blizzard World.
The amount of target focus that the Fabulous Pew Pew have here is very surprising. Like, even though they're all playing so split, they're all still targeting the exact same character.
Right.
Which is insane to see. Like, you'll see Cool Hand Luke on the entire left-hand side of the point and Dad on the right-hand side, and they're both still focusing down the same few characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what matters here, right? It's not like a traditional kind of dive with someone like a Genji who is like physically dashing to the same target. Instead, it's at range with premium at range. Getting the better of Kupatanis there on that Junkrat. Cool Hand Luke will duplicate the Echo, but a nice pin from Kubrick will end that ult in its tracks. As now Dyad does take out Slay Electric here, and there's a tire out from premium as well, looking for picks, does take out AC Flower Child. It's just Kubrick in a window left. Fortunately, that Rhine will not be able to do too much in the face of all that aggression there. So now the Fabulous Pew Pew, that card is trucking on, but there's still room for one more fight before point 2 is captured.
Fabulous Pew Pew have to bank on this grab for the next fight, unless they're going to try to, stabilize off this Transcendence, because they don't have much in their ult bank, at least in comparison to the Big Gay Agenda, who have 4 huge ults coming online here.
Absolutely.
Nothing to be scoffed at.
Oh, but they're not able to touch in time. I mean, it was looking kind of testy regardless, but they opt not to go for it. They opt to set up for third point. The Bob is out here as well from Kupatanis. It forced out the Transcendence from General Moby, but with Kubrick already down, it's going to signal the retreat here for the Big Gay Agenda. Dyad will push forward and try to capitalize on this as the rest of the Big Gay Agenda try to retreat here. 5 minutes and 16 seconds in the time bank here for the Fabulous Pew Pew to try to push this through.
Definitely. Premium already 70% to back to
Oh,
his
what a
tire.
pick.
But a huge pick from Slay Electric, popping off Wuhan Luke's head. But Wuhan Luke is back, but also coming out here from the big agenda, kind of running with the Vancouver Titans like the Fabulous GP were last round. Also coming out, not getting many picks though, but taking back a ton of space, holding them practically by their spawn doors. As General Movie gets a huge pick on them, Cupitanis.
Yeah, that exit pick is actually huge for them. They have to back up. That's a lot of their range damage gone here. Slay Electric will not be returning on the McCree, having dropped the May, having used the Blizzard. Kubrick and Co. just back in as this aggression comes in. Cool Hand Luke will duplicate Heat, but oh, what a grab. That'll stop the duplicate right there. But the tire's out from Premium, and it is massive take out the DPS line of the big agenda. Premium with 3 here in this fight as the cart continues to cruise.
I don't know if you saw that there, but AP Flower Shower noticed that Kubrick's shield was already down and that they wouldn't be able to block the shatter. So
Oh,
they
and got
ended
the
up-
bubble?
Yeah, he bubbled and put the grab down after the bubble ended, just so they would not be able to get the shatter off.
That's very smart. Yeah. That
But unfortunately, there were already too many down. So, but yeah, that was definitely a huge play.
for sure. And I think they've been kind of dealing with Cool Hand Luke's duplicates better here on Blizzard World, but still they have a tough road ahead of them here, looking at a 4-minute, 10-second time bank on the other side. So we'll see what they're able to do on the attack here, where I believe the Fabulous Pew Pew, I mean, you could opt to run the double bubble on defense here, but I feel like it'll be a lot harder to. So be interesting to see what they have in the tank against the Death Ball here that the big gay agenda seem to be fond of.
I mean, the Fabulous Few definitely have a lot of flexible players, but I feel like their most comfortable comp is definitely this double bubble. Especially with double bubble kind of being the really flexible comp, I guess. It's the new double shield, the double shield of 2021.
Right.
But-
Well, I mean,
but-
I think it's a lot more fun than Double Shield, but my opinion is subjective, and I'm also literally a Winston player, so I'm obviously biased.
Monkey funny. I
Monkey
can agree with
funny.
you. I can agree with you for one thing at least.
Yes. But on the other side, though, we're seeing something interesting here from the big gay agenda with Koopa now rolling out on the Echo here. So take a page out of Luke's book. We'll be joining that DPS player in the sky. So now they're
seeing
going to
some air battles here. That would be a lot of fun.
and a Storm Chaos on the Mercy as well. Obviously, very capable support, aiding Koopa here in the sky. So now, on the attack are the big gay agenda. We'll see how they choose to approach this point here as General Moby and Co. and Premium set up on the top left high ground.
The big agenda often just walk down mid here, which honestly isn't a bad start, especially since they're gonna try to well, not try. They're gonna have to get the Fabulous GPU off that top left high ground, especially with Premium on that Junkrat there. That just spells bad news. As I say that though, Cool Hand Luke is able to get the pick onto Storm Chaos as the entirety of the big agent are rotating and gets another one onto Slay Electric. The damage boosted Echo was definitely putting in a lot of damage here.
Yeah, I mean, Luke is he's been playing incredibly well in this Echo so far, and I think over there's a bit of a miscommunication where Koopa Tennis and Storm Chaos seem to be going main, and then perhaps got the call from their team to actually join them in the side room. So during that rotation, they unfortunately lose Storm Chaos to all the incoming damage. So it's a minute off the clock here, but now big gay agenda rolling in. We'll be building up that coalescence very soon to kind of use that as an engage tool, but they've already lost Slay Electric. The sticky bombs here. AP Flower
The
Cloud
res
2.
is gonna come in though.
Yeah,
They
sure
could use
does.
this to re-stabilize, but it looks like the big agent are kind of split here, with Kubrick pushing up, but the rest of the big agent are up to fall back. But now with 3 huge picks coming in, Cool Hand Luke, the big agent are gonna have to back up.
Luke has just been a terror so far, and
I mean,
yeah,
a damage boosted Echo is no joke.
absolutely. And also, speaking of Luke, I mean, now the duplicate is kind of in the tank for the Fabulous PPU as well. So, although they've been doing really well to kind of keep these duplicates in check, it's still a very fearsome ultimate. As on the other side, Slay Electric now swaps over to the Pharah here, which I quite like. There's no real hit scan pressure on the other side, but Premium, before they can even set up, the tire takes out 2.
You say hit scan pressure, but then you forget Premium's on Junkrat,
Oh right, yeah.
which I'd say is a lot more scary than any hit scan could ever be.
I fear Premium's Junkrat more than there's a couple references I could make here and they're all swimming through my head all at once, but we got a game to cast. Let's get right back into it.
But the Fabulous Pew Pew do have, or sorry, the Fabulous Pew. I don't know, my brain just got mixed up between 2 names. But they have 5 ults coming up here, whereas since the big agenda have making a lot of swaps here, they only have their 2 support ults. that they're either gonna have to bank on here, or they're gonna have to do a dry push or something to get more ults online. Because with the current rate, the Fabulous Pew Pew are just gonna be able to roll them with ults. But as I say that, both support ults are coming out from the big gauge end. They're coming out first this time. And,
great focus from that Coalescence, but it's not enough. As I believe they've actually nanoed Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah, they have Nano, Nano, Dupe, Velk, and Primal. Again, not afraid to use ults, but the big gauge end is trying to make their way onto point here. But unfortunately, Slay Electric already getting picked off before the fight has started. But that's going to be a huge deal while coming out here from AP Flower Child, kind of zoning out the entirety of the Fabulous Pew Pew. But a massive grab from Cable before AP Flower Child could get back into mech, ends up stabilizing it for the Fabulous Pew Pew. And the anti from General Moby with a little cherry on top.
Right, and that Kubrick got a big pick there on Premium, but that grab just turned it all the way right around. Kind of what we saw on Ilios. But once again here, I like the idea behind the double support ultimate, just kind of trying to catch them off guard with the aggression, but Luke kind of caught it really well with that duplicate there. So now Premium has a tire, which is the four-word horror story in the making. Premium is fearsome. If the big gauge end can push through that, they might be positioned to take this point with the ults that they do have.
And as you said that, the tire comes out and takes out Slay Electric and Storm Chaos once again. The hit scan Junkrat, as they call him.
Yeah, but Kubrick now with a Primal in the back, just bouncing around the supports there. But General Moby and Premium have already taken out Cat and AP Flower Child. Cupitanis does get Premium, but it's not looking too great for the big gauge agenda, unfortunately, as the overtime wick dwindles. And that will be the Fabulous Pew Pew taking it 2-0 here on Blizzard World.
Jesus, that was a
really strong showing from them.
Yeah, that was a really strong opening, especially for a first match.
I think like it's interesting to see their playstyle in terms of how the Fabulous Pew Pew seem to play really ultimates more than a lot of teams. Several teams are kind of looking for very specific engages or specific cooldown combinations. Like, oh, we're going to have our Winston dive in with this character. But the Fabulous Pew Pew tend to play it a little slow and then just overwhelm with ult advantage.